Hi, this is Vicki Hyman. I am here with Craig and Carla at our weekly Game of Thrones roundtable, and we are all super excited because it was certainly the best episode of the season, the best episode in quite some time, in my opinion. Because again, like last week, stuff happened. Of course, the main thing that happened was the White Walkers and their army of the dead became real. I mean, they had been around and they talked about them, and they've been this like sort of threat in the distance, but they are very real. They're very close to the wall, and they are very scary, very large army, and totally it was awesome. And the best thing I think about last night's episode was that I really had no idea it was coming.
Right.
I mean, I thought that the big battle scene was they're going to be at Winterfell at the end, but no, there was this great apparently very expensive, very hard to shoot, huge battle scene at Hardhome between the Night's Watch and the Wildlings against the zombies. So what'd you guys think? Zombies, sorry, the whites.
I mean, the battle was just like so well put together. I mean, from the like dogs barking to like the mist coming in, you have no idea what's going on. I didn't even think like White Walkers at first. I thought Stannis had betrayed them or something. I thought that before.
That's what I thought it was. Yes.
Before, like that's why it was so, because you don't see it coming. And it just built up so great. And then when they closed the gates, and then the silence, like that was the creepiest thing. And then all of a sudden,
through the slit in the gate, you see that
right. And I yelled out, like I probably freaked out my roommates because I just yelled out.
I think it was just such a galvanizing moment between the crows and any of the wildlings, because you needed some moment like that. I know, reading all day today, trying to figure out how much different this is from the book, because everybody's been telling me it's completely different, obviously. But I've caught up in that. But for those who didn't read the book, what's good is that this summed up about like 7 storylines. So and it made it a very eventful thing, which I think a lot of the people who read the books were actually very happy with the way it went, which they haven't been all season from what I've heard from people.
They haven't been, but the problem is that the books have also been very, the last couple of books, I'm sorry, have been sort of like bogged down, and people aren't getting to where they're supposed to be going, and things in the TV show are happening. I mean, also that, but also we'll get to later, Daenerys and Tyrion, they're together, they haven't been together in the books.
But how about the opening of before when they're going to get all the elders together, and the guy in the bone mask comes up and he just says,
Lord of Bones.
Lord of Bones.
And that just seemed, I think that made that whole encounter amazing. And you saw the giant and how big he was.
And the CGI was amazing.
Yeah.
And actually, it's
fun.
Like
a movie.
It's a battle scene, but it actually had little tiny bits of humor, I think, especially with the giant, because it was just he's like flinging these skeletal whites off his back, and he's stomping on them, and you can't help but smile a little bit. I did.
And then the scene at the end, the harrowing scene at the end, where it reinforces why Jon was there. It doesn't matter how many you kill, because as many as we kill you, our army replenishes.
Yeah,
which is what he's been saying again and again and
but
again
it's
and again.
Get to see, and everybody sees it.
It really is a game changer to me, because they have been this threat in the distance. We did see them at the end of season 2. It was 3 seasons ago. The last time we really saw them en masse, and you saw, oh my God, there's a huge army of the dead, but they were very far away. And now it's like, okay, yes, we're having the Game of Thrones and all thing going on, but now you see this is what they have to worry about. Forget about like Stannis and Daenerys and everything. Something's going to happen where they all come together and fight them.
And it all has to do with dragons, because that's a dragon steel. Valyrian steel is also known as dragon steel.
Dragonstone. Dragonstone and Valyrian steel.
Yes. But no,
dragon glass and Valyrian steel.
Right, but no, they were saying that dragon... in the books, they reference Valyrian steel as dragon steel.
So dragons are the secret weapon to use against...
That's what they're trying to... I think they're trying to allude to. And also, everything I've been reading is that actual character that appears at the end, the White Walker, is the White Walker from the first episode that you don't see.
Really?
Yes, that is supposedly supposed to be the same person.
He's the same guy that zombified the baby, right?
Right.
Yeah, Craster's
Keep.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if everybody has that power of...
Well, clearly there are like sort of king White Walkers, with the 4 horsemen who are up on the cliffs.
Yeah.
And then there are the whites.
Right.
Who are just like the reanimated dead people.
Yeah.
Question for you.
A question.
Can the White Walkers swim?
No,
I was wondering about that myself. I mean, I don't think George R.R. Martin has ever had to consider that, but it doesn't seem like they can, because why did they just wade into the ocean and attack the boats?
I almost looked at it as you were issuing a retreat. It wasn't. It isn't these mindless beasts. It was actually a battle, and they sounded the retreat and they left because they were fighting them at first, and then they retreated. I mean, I think they were letting them retreat and showing them what they had. I mean, I feel like him standing at the end of the pier and just rising up all the dead, he probably could have sent them after them.
I don't know. I don't think that they can swim because they came from the far north and everything is frozen. So I just think they never learned how to swim.
Well,
so they needed to have like a JCC.
So then
near them
does that
they
mean
can learn
that
to
the
swim.
Iron Islands are going to be the safest place? Does that mean that Essos is
Just
gonna
like
be
in every time I see The Walking Dead, I'm like, get to an island, you idiots. Sorry, get to an island.
Well, I think also other things that happened in the episode, which I think was the most amazing, was the conversation between Daenerys and Tyrion, which was the ultimate. I guess we've been waiting so long for them to get together because he does have the banter back and forth. Oh, you need to stop drinking. Okay, well, you need to do this. I mean, that was just such a good. It was just such a good back and forth, and they stayed on it long enough where you enjoyed it. And what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it was everything that I was hoping for. Like, they had just a lot of chemistry, and I'm glad someone is calling out Daenerys on her BS, and someone is finally calling Tyrion on his BS. Like, they make such a good team, and I'm so glad they're together.
In a sense, it kind of annoyed me that we had all these conversations of Tyrion with Varys kind of sounding the same remarks, and then we finally have one with the person that it really matters with, with Daenerys. And it also made me feel like the whole episode really made me feel like everything leading up into basically the last episode could have been compressed into like 3 episodes. And there's been so much repetition. I said this last week how badly paced the season has been, and I can't say that about the last 2 episodes. But honestly, they could have just smushed the whole beginning of the season. I would have been happier with a 5-episode Game of Thrones and not having to sit through everything else that we've seen.
I agree. No, I completely agree. I think it was very well paced. The timing seemed right. You didn't feel like you were jumping around. It was just, it flowed very nicely. The only thing that was in there, we said before, that was very strange was
Ollie talking to Sam, the same exact conversation he had with Jon Snow, I think 2 episodes ago, like, why are you going after the wildlings? Because they're going to turn into whites, and then they'll be meat. It's like, it's the same exact conversation.
And then he complains about his parents again. You're like, all right, guy. Jon, I think, has had it pretty bad in his life, too.
Although this time, he mentioned specifically that Tormund was the guy who led the village. I'm like, okay, so I guess Ollie's going to kill Tormund, but now maybe people think that Ollie's going to turn against Jon Snow.
Right.
When Jon comes back next week with the wildlings.
Well, next week we'll see how long it takes him to get back.
You did see Sir Alistair. You did see Alistair Thorne kind of looking like he wasn't going to let them back in. But I mean,
well, I googled it, and it's 100 miles from Castle Black to the shore, and then 200 miles up.
But is he going to go straight there? Or is he going to go to Winterfell?
No,
that's the question. I didn't know if he was going to join them for that
battle. In the preview, he
know.
looked like he was from Castle Black, right?
Well, you saw Alistair Thorne, so I assumed that he was to Castle Black first.
So and it'd be further if they went to Winterfell. So,
It'll be interesting.
Yes. So that was the one little thing I didn't quite like. Very quickly, we'll run through. Cersei is still in prison, and Jon is not here doing the Cersei's in prison dance.
And the mention about the mountain.
The mountain, yes. The work continues.
I've been waiting for that.
The work continues.
Oh my God, is the mountain going to rescue her?
Well, it almost seemed like she got another out. Because he said there is another option, and then she finished the sentence. But what was he going to say?
I thought he was going to say confess.
Yeah.
But then he said the work is continuing. So does that mean he's going to try to get her out with the mountain and whatever undead people he has under him?
I'm so excited for Zombie Mountain.
So maybe actually that Maester, Qyburn, is that his name? Will be busy reanimating people on our side to fight against the whites. I don't know, our side. So we have that. We went to Castle Black. We didn't have any Dorne this week. And finally, we had a little bit of movement on Arya in Bravos. Not enough. I mean, oh my God. This is season 8, and she's finally gotten to the point where she probably is going to kill somebody next week. Maybe.
And one of the persons on her list in the previews is coming to her.
Is Meryn Trant is coming to her with Mace Tyrell, who apparently I think will make their appearance next week. So, if Arya finally gets to kill somebody, then I will call the season a success.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
I think with this episode, it's solidified it as actually coming back and back into the good graces. I will just never rewatch the first 6 episodes.
Yeah. No reason to. No reason to.
So, question: do you guys think that the Winterfell battle is going to be better than this White Walker battle?
I don't think it can be.
Yeah.
Unless Roose and Ramsay both get flayed simultaneously
Ramsay
by
also-
Brienne
By
while
Sansa
cheerleads in the
And
background.
the other thing
I
we
mean, come
didn't
on.
mention is that Ramsay is going with 20 men.
Yeah, north
to-
to do something.
to do something.
Yeah, so we'll
It's
see how
very
that
exciting
works out.
because I have no idea what's going to happen because we're all in new territory here.
Mhm.
And I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
Well, it should be interesting.
It should be interesting. 2 more episodes left, and we will be back here next week to discuss them. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.